Hi everybody, it's Kelly Russell with teachersofgod.org. So happy to be with you today. And I've been thinking a lot lately about trust issues. As many of you know, I'm a coach and psychotherapist, and so I hear a lot from people about how they have trust issues. And I started thinking about why that is. I know on the surface, we can look at why that is based on the experience that we've had in the world. But that's not really the answer. And so as I thought about it more and just tried to look at it from a wider perspective, I realized that we all have trust issues. And the reason why we have trust issues is because we're putting our trust in the wrong place. So people talk to me, usually I'll ask the question, why do you think you have trust issues? Where did they come from? And invariably, there is a story attached to that. And I am not here to invalidate anybody's story, but I am here to be the person that challenges the identification with and the living through the story and allowing the story to define who we are and what the rest of our experience is in the world. The ego mind would very much love for us to just stay in the story. And the story usually has some kind of an etiology of a person or something that happened to me, something or many things that I'm holding responsible for the betrayal of my trust. And the reason why I now can't have a relationship or have all kinds of difficulty or don't believe what people say or can't have intimacy or be close to anyone or develop any kind of interpersonal anything, whatever it is, because of what happened to me. And if we're going to stay there, then we're never going to heal the trust issues. You see, in order for us to be able to move forward, we have to realize that the real trust issue is a trust issue with who we're listening to, the voice that we're listening to. And the voice we're listening to is not the voice of spirit. It's not the voice of God. We're listening to the ego's voice. And the ego's voice is coming from a place of fear, and it is going to be telling us, you can't trust, you can't love, you can't accept, you certainly can't forgive, and you need to hold people responsible. They need to apologize to you. They need to be sorry. You need to not let them off the hook for whatever it is that they did. You need to carry this burden for the rest of your life, and it's who you are. And for most of the people that I talk to, it also has the added bonus of they feel damaged, they feel not good enough, they feel less than, and like something's wrong with them. And that just plays right into the ego's hands. And so if any of this is resonating with you, then listen up, because it means that the voice that you're listening to and where you're placing your trust, and if you're placing your trust any place except with God, you're placing your trust in a person or in the world or in something that will eventually betray you. And that's what happens, is that we end up creating these experiences that are then going to blow up in our face, betray us, and then it will prove that we were right, and it will prove that we shouldn't have trusted, and it will prove exactly what our point is, because that's what the ego wants us to do. The ego wants us to prove that we should be listening to it, and that if we don't listen to it, the admonishment is, then we're going to be sorry, we're going to be screwed over, we're going to be hurt, we're going to be, terrible things are going to happen. When actually, the opposite is true. The reason why we have trust issues in the first place is because we already got it, I don't mean that it really happened, because it really didn't, but our seeming existence in this world is because we listened to a big fat lie from the ego. So if we should have trust issues with anything, it should be our ego minds, because it lies. It lies, it betrays us, it screws us over in every way, and has been since literally the beginning of time, our awareness of time. Whereas if we're putting our trust in spirit, we're putting our trust in God, then we're remembering who we really are. We're remembering that this world isn't real. We're remembering that none of the things that we think happened that define us actually happened other than in the dream of the world. So again, I know I've said this before, but it's like living your life from a place where what's dictating reality to you is like what happened in a dream last night while you were sleeping. Like you woke up the next morning and said, okay, now I'm going to feel like this about my life, and I'm going to feel like this about the world, and I'm going to be mad at you, and I'm going to be blaming you, and I'm going to feel like a victim of you because of what happened last night in my dream. I'm sorry, but that really is the closest thing to the truth. When we can wake up to true reality and realize that we never left God, that God is with us all the time, we are constantly being guided. We are constantly being spoken to by the voice for God. We are being loved on all the time. We are being told all the time that we're the light of the world. We are loved beyond our ability to even fathom how much we are loved. And the more that we are able to get in touch with that truth, and the more that we are able to practice forgiveness of our beliefs about whatever we think happened to cause our trust issues, that is what is going to then allow us to forgive ourselves, because we're holding ourselves in that same blame and judgment that we're holding whomever else in that we think created our trust issues in the first place. It's not them, it's us. And we are not guilty, but we are believing in the wrong thing. We're putting our trust in the wrong thing. And so what I encourage you to do is figure out who it is that you are feeling victimized by, or that you are holding responsible in your life for the trust issues that you have, if you have them. And practice the Course in Miracles version of forgiveness toward that person, not because you're forgiving them for what they did, but you're forgiving your belief in your own mind of what you are believing that they did and holding them responsible for, because you're holding yourself in the same prison. Remember, when we're holding someone in judgment, we're holding someone responsible for our unhappiness, we're holding somebody in resentment and anger and all of those negative emotions, we're holding them in a prison cell. But guess what? We're the guard, and we're sitting right outside the prison cell. So we're both in prison. So letting yourself out of that prison, letting yourself out of that identity that I have trust issues, and making the choice. It literally is a choice. I don't have trust issues. My trust is in God. So thank you so much for being with me today. I love talking to you. If something in this video or over on the blog resonates with you, I do hope you'll leave me a comment. I read everyone, and I do respond to quite a number of them, so I'd love to hear from you. And I also just want to give you a call to action here, that if these blogs, if you love listening to these, if you are into all the stuff that we teach here at Teachers of God, and if it really speaks to you, and if you haven't joined the presenter series yet, I highly, highly encourage you to. One reason is because as of November 1st, the price is going up. So if you want to get into it on a lower price, you can save yourself money, which is always great. And that everything with Teachers of God is going to be available from that platform. So all of our live streaming that we're going to be doing is going to be available on that platform. And so it's really going to be the place to be if you want to be in the transformation room and have access to all of that, join the presenters series. You will have access to the presenters, some amazing materials, some fantastic teachers. Next month, starting November 1st, is Jennifer Hadley, a favorite Course in Miracles teacher, and it's just going to be great. So thanks again. I love you so much. Namaste.